Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The rain fell gently against Genoa City's streets, shimmering in the autumn glow of dusk. Crimson leaves danced along the sidewalk, carried by the brisk October wind. Inside the Grand Phoenix, Audra Charles sat at a corner table, her usual armor of confidence slipping. A glass of wine sat untouched in front of her. She twirled the stem, staring blankly, her thoughts circling back to Nate Hastings. For weeks she'd built herself up as unshakable, an unstoppable strategist who could outmaneuver boardrooms, rivals, and even the unpredictable tides of Newman family drama. But tonight, her ambition had hit a wall, and in that wall, she saw Nate's reflection. Audra knew she was about to do something she never did: plead. A desperate summons. Nate walked in with his usual crisp composure, scanning the room until his eyes landed on her. He hesitated, his jaw tightening, his measured breath revealing that he already suspected what this meeting was about. But Nate, always respectful even when wary, approached. "Audra," he greeted, his tone cool but not cruel. "You asked me here. What's this about?" Audra's eyes glistened, her usual smoky calm trembling. "Nate, I need you to hear me out. Without judgment, without the corporate battlefield between us. Just as two people who once trusted each other." He leaned against the chair opposite her but didn't sit. "Trust isn't exactly something you preserve when alliances shift every week." His words cut, but Audra pressed forward. "I know, and I've made choices I regret. But everything I've done, it wasn't just about climbing. I was scared. I didn't want to end up discarded, forgotten, like so many people in this city. I wanted security, power, respect, and yes, I wanted you beside me while I built it." A tearful plea. Audra's voice cracked, a rarity for the woman who once sparred verbally with Tucker McCall without blinking. "I pushed too hard, I schemed too far, and I lost you in the process. Nate, please, don't let this be the end of us. I need you, not as a pawn, not as a partner in some corporate coup. I need you, the man who reminded me I wasn't just a survivor, but someone worth believing in." Her mascara threatened to smudge as a tear slid down her cheek. Audra didn't care. Vulnerability, once her greatest fear, spilled across the table like the wine she still hadn't touched. Nate's eyes softened despite himself. He'd seen Audra manipulate before, but this wasn't a performance. He could read sincerity when it quivered raw and unpolished. Still, his voice stayed even. "Audra, I can't deny we had something intense, complicated, maybe even real. But you have to understand. Every time you plot, every time you twist the truth, it chips away at that trust you say you want. I can't just overlook the damage." "I'm not asking you to overlook it," she whispered, leaning in. "I'm asking you to give me a chance to repair it." The silence that followed stretched long, broken only by the murmur of hotel patrons and the hum of the bar's jazz playlist. Nate studied her with the kind of look that weighed past, present, and possible futures all at once. The interruption. Before Nate could answer, his phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. Devon. He declined the call, slipping the phone back in his pocket. "I need to think about what you've said," he told her. "I can't give you the answer you want right now." Audra nodded, her tears drying into determination. "Just, don't walk away for good. Please." With that, Nate left the Grand Phoenix, his footsteps measured, his thoughts heavier than he wanted to admit. Audra sat back, exhaling shakily. For once, she hadn't played a game. She'd laid herself bare. Now all she could do was wait. Across town, the Kane train. Meanwhile, at Chancellor Winters, an entirely different storm brewed. Kane Ashby, rarely seen in Genoa City these days, had returned with a sharp focus. Rumors had already started flying that he was building something of his own, a bold venture whispered about in corporate corridors and late-night strategy calls. People were calling it the Kane train, a fast-moving, unpredictable force that promised to disrupt business as usual in Genoa City. And tonight, Jill Abbott herself showed up to see if the hype was real. "Kane," Jill announced as she strode into the sleek but still under-construction office space. "If I'm going to hear all this chatter about a so-called Kane train, then I need to see what the fuss is about." Kane looked up from a blueprint sprawled across the table, his expression a mix of surprise and guarded pride. "Mum, didn't expect you here this late." "You should've," Jill replied with her signature sass. "When my son starts making waves, I like to know whether I should throw him a lifeline or make sure he doesn't capsize." Jill's challenge. The room buzzed with Kane's small team, but Jill's presence immediately commanded attention. She scanned the plans, the laptops, the ambition crackling in the air. So tell me, Jill said, planting her hands on her hips, is this another one of your half-baked detours, or have you actually built something sustainable this time? Kane met her gaze head-on. This isn't a detour, it's a chance to redefine who I am in this city. I've spent too long trying to measure up, too long chasing approval, from you, from Catherine's legacy, from everyone who thought I couldn't cut it. The Kane train isn't about proving people wrong anymore. It's about finally doing something right. On my own terms. Jill tilted her head, studying him. For all her biting remarks, there was admiration in her eyes. She'd seen Kane stumble, rise, stumble again, but this time, there was steel in his voice she hadn't always heard before. Ambitious, she admitted, but ambition without strategy is just ego in disguise. So tell me, what makes this different? Kane gestured to the team, the plans. Because I'm not doing it alone. I've built a crew that believes in this. And unlike before, I'm not trying to mimic someone else's empire. I'm creating my own. A mother's warning. Jill crossed her arms. I want to believe you, Kane. Lord knows, I've given you more second chances than most. But if you think I'm just going to rubber stamp this Kane train, you've got another thing coming. Genoa City is a ruthless place. You're going up against titans, Victor, Jack, even Devon and Lily. Do you have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with them without crashing? Kane's eyes didn't waver. I do, and I won't crash. Not this time. Jill smirked, though her tone softened. You've always had the heart, Kane. What I want to see is the follow-through. Don't let this train derail before it leaves the station. 2 Crossroads. Back at her penthouse, Audra replayed every word she'd said to Nate, torn between hope and despair. For the first time in years, she realized her fate didn't hinge solely on corporate power moves, it hinged on whether one man believed she was capable of change. Across town, Kane watched Jill exit his office with her trademark stride, leaving him both rattled and motivated. The Kane train wasn't just about business. It was about carving out a legacy, proving that he could be more than the sum of his mistakes. 2 different souls, 2 different crossroads. Audra, fighting to salvage love and trust. Kane, battling to build independence and identity. Both on parallel tracks, both waiting to see whether the next turn would bring triumph or derailment. And somewhere in the heart of Genoa City, the wheels of fate kept turning.